60% of players get this wrong.
60% of the time, it works every time.
That doesn't make sense.
I'm taking Chaos Demons to a 2-day tournament very soon, and there's one rule I'm still getting confused about. And to be honest, speaking with other people, I'm not the only one. And the question is, can demons deep strike turn 1? And for that matter, lots of other armies. There's an explicit rule in the Leviathan mission pack that says, for match play games, you're not allowed to deep strike turn 1. That seems easy then, doesn't it? Well, no. There are a lot of special rules that ignore this. You have teleport rules like Gaunt's Ghost that don't mention reserves or deep strike, so at the end of your opponent's turn you can pick up a unit and redeploy it in your turn. This only works turn 1 if you go second. There are units that explicitly say you can deep strike turn 1, like the drop pod. This overrides the previous exclusion. There are other abilities that allow you to treat the round as 1 higher than it actually is. Take the Space Marine Stormlance Task Force Enhancement, Hunter's Instincts. Something with that enhancement can arrive turn 1. Then you have rules or strats that allow you to pick up a unit at the end of your opponent's turn and deploy it in your turn. Chaos Demons have this with the Realm of Chaos for 1 CP. You pick up 1 or 2 units and bring them back. Now because demon units have deep strike, and if you go second, then you can pick units up in turn 1 and deep strike them back in turn 1. Alara's Terminators for Custodes have this rule on their datasheets, so each unit once per battle can do this. They can deep strike turn 1 if you go second. Necrons take this even further with the Hypocrite Legion detachment rule. They can pick up units at the end of every opponent's turn. Their rule puts them into strategic reserves but doesn't specify placement in your turn, so only units with deep strike ability can then come back down again in turn 1. This limits what units can do it, but take a monolith and that has deep strike, so it can go down turn 1. This stacks with Cosmic Precision Strat for 1 CP to deep strike 3 inches away, then use its Eternity Gate datasheet ability to bring an infantry unit from reserves off the battlefield and place it 6 inches from the monolith. This is super powerful. Of note, units with deep strike denial abilities will still push this ability out to 12 inches. They're a must when playing against Necrons at the moment. There are of course more complicated versions of these rules. Take the Space Marine Scouts for instance. They have a rule to pick them up at the end of your opponent's turn, but it doesn't say deploy in your next turn, just that they're put in strategic reserves. They also don't have deep strike ability, so this trick won't work turn 1. Repositioning like this is so powerful, as going second you can see what your opponent has done and then reposition your units in strategic positions, perhaps dropping directly on objectives or horrible places for your opponents. So any units that start on the battlefield and go back into reserves in your opponent's first turn can then come back into play on your first turn. The not turn 1 deep strike rule doesn't apply to units that already started on the battlefield. The unit must have the deep strike rule though. You can't come in from strategic reserves turn 1, that is still restricted to turn 2 onwards. Anything that starts the game off the board can't come in turn 1, unless that unit has a specific rule that says you can arrive turn 1 or treat the round as 1 higher. It's a complicated interaction with the rulebook, rules commentary and Leviathan mission rules, so no wonder it's confusing. I hope this has cleared things up and helps a bit, and yes, demons can deep strike turn 1 if you go second. And I'll see you again soon. Bye.